Lights, camera, action. That's better. Now you see my pretty face all lit up. And now the lens cracks. So, back at the TARDIS, got stuff done today. So what do we get done? Well, I started working on the F4. That's really the only model I worked on today. And I got to weathering, and we're talking about, how to make those seam lines show like they did on the real aircraft. But, I'll complain that a lot of people kind of overdo it. Although some of the jets I've seen, they really didn't overdo it. But the only good pictures I have of the colonel's plane and the squadron, like the Marines are pretty sharp on trying to keep them tidied up. So I want the seam lines to show, but not too much. So today my wife got a great pastel pencil for me. She was, Michael's getting some pastel pencils for other stuff. She didn't need the gray one. Unfortunately, it turns out the gray was a little too close to the actual shade of the jet to show. It needed something darker. So I wound up using one of those TWA #2 pencils I got from the TWA hotel. And he smeared that on it. It looked pretty good. It kind of maybe a little too dark. Also used the Tamiya weathering kit. So I played around with it. Got it and looked in a certain way, then would shoot a thin coat of the, I believe it's AS16 over it. And, you play with it, and then it kind of starts to look about the way you want to. One wing I did, one wing I didn't, just to show the slide. Because I don't want to overdo this thing. So you can see in this picture that it shows without beating you up about it. And it does resemble the photographs. Now, of course, I'll have to re-weather this stuff once the decals are on, because the insignia and everything did have some weathering over it. So I'll get it worked out. I want it to be subtle. And the other thing that I did was I finally feathered the edge on and it's just a couple of spots where the gray and the white meet. And I actually did that with the airbrush, so it's acrylic overlacquer. Wasn't exactly the same shade, so I taped it off and gave it a reshoot, just leaving the little white feathered edge. You can't tell. It makes a pretty nice little blend, and I think it'll work well. But I saw that I had this big gap under one of the intakes I didn't realize. So stripped the paint, put in some putty, and wiped it down, and then reprime it or reshoot the paint, and now it's looking more like it should. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. That's a lot of work done on the F4 today, but it's gonna take a while. It's a big model, a lot of weathering to do, and a lot of other stuff. And I didn't actually glue anything together because it was all working on this part. I want to get a lot of this done before I start attaching all the parts onto it, because the last thing I want to do is try to weather it when the whole model's together. It's easier while it's in this stub wing state. And so then I also put some stuff together. One of my coworkers that showed an interest in modeling, wants to get his kid interested. He said he also, if I have some built models, I could give him to make a mobile for his kid. I'm like, you're talking to the right guy. Not exactly sure what I'm going to give him, but turns out his flight instructor years ago was a man named Letter, who was a World War II ace in Thunderbolts and Mustangs. We found pictures of his plane. So I thought I had a 1/48 scale Razorback D model Thunderbolt in this Dornier Thunderbolt kit, but when I went in there, the Thunderbolt was gone, and I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember building it, and maybe it was never in there. This is something one of the glue troopers gave me, or maybe I did something with it, forgot about it. Maybe I gave it to somebody. Because a lot of times when you guys give me stuff, I'll be honest, some of it I re-gift people I'm trying to help out or whatever, which is what I'm doing with him. I do have this Academy 1/72nd scale Razorback, but which is the kit that I'm going to give him. But I also have a built Razorback D model Thunderbolt. I'm going to give him that, so if he wants to, he can repaint it. I'm going to give him the it's AMT, but it's actually the Otaki 1/48 scale P51. And he wanted an airliner. One of you guys had given me this Embraer 190. And in the Lufthansa markings, and he was like, man, if I could get an airliner, especially 190, I was like, got you covered, buddy. So I'm going to give these to him, plus probably my old F86 that I built a long time ago, and it kind of messed up the paint job. And I'll pick out a few other models I think I can transport without destroying, and leave those in the crew room for him. I've got so many models, that's nuts. It's what to give, what not to give. But anywho, that's what I'm going to do for him, see if I can get him into building models, and that should get him off to a running start. Also, I was looking at the little A37. Come a long way on it, but I got to find the right decals for it. It's just about ready for decals, and I was inspired to build that from what I saw on the Ron Rogers channel. He's a retired United captain and former Air Force chase pilot. He was at Edwards, and I like that white paint scheme, but I found out I was missing some black on the wingtip tank, so I still have some painting to do on that when I get around to it. Even though I got a couple of weeks off and I'm planning to get a lot of model building done, I also got a lot of other things going on. And I want to give a big shout out to Alan over at Old Model Kits, because he has sent me a ton of it. Actually, he wrote an article on Ideal Toy Company and the models that is going to probably save me a ton of research and be the core of the video I'm working on, the history of ITC. And for those who know, Ideal Toy Company, ITC made models for I think 7 years, and they made some really cool, some holy grail stuff for some people. Although they all had play value, some folks didn't like them, some did. I'd love to get that Rapier, but my God, they're expensive. And the Titan missile set. We're going to talk about it in the video, and it's going to take me a while to put that together, because it's, as always happens, it's kind of turned into a monster. So that is where we are right now. I did rearrange the stash a little bit, because when you're waiting for paint to dry, that's what you do. Also, a big thank you to the Kraut for sending me the Super G Constellation, the monogram kit. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I got it today. Guys, hope everybody's doing well. We will talk at you later from the Tarbis. This is Max, the Max's Models model line. boogie, 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 boogie. Yeah. Well, hello, Glue Troopers. Max and Max's Models here, back in the TARDIS, working on models. And let me get some better lighting.